Hello, welcome to the American Dreamer Show. I'm Bill Sefakar, and a lot has happened since our last broadcast. Not in the studio, I'm not with my crew. James Worley at the controls and John Casimiro, trackman, man about town and co-conspirator. I don't have to tell you, you're in your home also, most likely. Well, a lot has happened, and I'd like to get to it right away and hopefully provide you with some things. I wish I can get feedback from you all. Maybe we can work that out sometime. First thing on the agenda is I want to put this t-shirt on. This was done at the Citrus Park Mall here in Tampa. Anna Marie and the t-shirt company there did a great job. She's done a lot of my t-shirts with John Denver. And this American Dreamer Show. He asked me about it. I think I'm going to put it on. I was going to have it on, but then you wouldn't get the full impact of the special effort that went into this. So, matter of fact, I'm going to put it on backwards. My life. This had such a nice picture of my book, my dad's book, American Dreamer, and also the studio. And yeah, let me get up and get this on. Okay. So now you can get the full impact. Now you can get the full impact. Okay. So this show, very important to me because it's the 39th show. And the fact that I'm even actually producing the show, broadcasting it is a milestone. But we have desperate conditions. I don't want to dwell on whatever it is, but we are going to have to deal with something. Even the British Prime Minister is in ICU at this time. And I recorded 3 songs for this show specifically because I talked to my crew, and at that time I said, well, we were going to have the show before the lockdown or whatever it is that stay at home kind of thing. So here you are. So the first song was actually a little play on words to deal with the crisis, Corona-19 pandemic. And the song was Neil Diamond's Sweet Caroline, which he revised the words, verses to reflect on hands, washing hands, reaching out, don't touch me, I won't touch you. So that was the first song. I updated that. And I have a bunch of things here that I was going to share with you. My third book, after Light, Courage, and Hope, the first book, but the Holocaust, and then my dad's book, which you know about, American Dreamer. And then my third book I'm working on, but I really got sidetracked with the broadcast of the American Dreamer Show and podcast. But we really need to take care of yourself. And what it worked for me, now I'm not a doctor, but I've been reading about stuff. As a matter of fact, the last day that I taught was March 13th, a Friday, the 13th. A lot has happened in the last 3 weeks, whatever. But I made it a point when I went to class that day. I was teaching 8th grade at Davidson Middle School, that I brought some material with me. I even had a 5-minute video from a doctor in Toronto, Dr. Peter Lynn, and L-I-N. And it was a beautiful 5-minute. I had it on my camera, on my smartphone, and I showed it to them. But there were things that were happening even then. March 13th, you might recall just hearing about things and say, wow, something's going on, it's bad. Well, Italy, this woman had a letter, told us that we're 2 weeks behind the United States and Europe. And she was so right about what was happening with the hospitals being overflowed and ICU units and just everybody in a lockdown for 60 million people. And then it was something I also recorded about this doctor in China, about the COVID-19. And then we'll reach this country sooner or later. He said natural vitamin C and help to strengthen your immune system. And he said lemon and warm water every day will help cut it into 3 parts, put it in a glass, and pour hot water and transform it into this alkaline solution. Drink it every day and that will benefit. And treatment with this exact destroys only malignant cells, doesn't affect the healthy cells. So I put this on the overhead and we talked about it, but they were starting to get the grasp of the magnanimity of this. So I just wanted to share this approach that I have, because my whole life I've been drinking hot tea. That's my miracle drug. And it's been good. It just helps me in everything. But I've been doing a bunch of other things to help with this immune system. And mine is a little suspect. You can get over 60, 70. So this is, I've been getting iron supplements. I have one that has vitamin C on there. I don't have my vitamin C. It's like horse pills. They're 2,000 milligrams. I take 2 or 3 a day. And honey. Honey is a mainstay in my diet. I put it in my tea, even hot water. And of course, we have hand sanitizer and a bunch of other things that it's part of your daily ritual. But the vitamin C, juice, oranges, I have. And I use this, I have 2 things. Throat coat is really very helpful. I have mouthwash, I have a spray, Carceptic, that I use. As I said, this is me. I'm not a doctor. It just works. I have so many teas. I like this is raspberry. I have raspberry, peach, all kinds of good stuff that I've been drinking all my life. I just got this colon cleanse. I've been taking that. I think that's good for me. And then this is another tea that's really important, Echinacea Plus, for your immune system. So I just want to leave you with those things. You have a lot to deal with, I know, in your family and loved ones. It's not easy. It's not easy, but we will persevere. We will persevere, I promise you. And I had something, if that's what, that's what fell off. It's my life story. And this is so important. I needed to read this to you. It's called, I hope I'm centered, 50 Ways to Beat the Virus. This virus. This is a takeoff from Paul Simon's 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, but you're not leaving your lover. So 1 is stay away from the pack, Jack. Don't visit your grand, Stan. Wipe down every toy, Roy, to keep virus free. Don't hop on the bus, Gus. Don't listen to Don, Ron. Don't hoard the TP, Lee. Stay virus free. Sneeze into your sleeve, Steve. Stop touching your face, Grace. Keep back to 6 feet, Pete. Heed the CDC. Just use the Purell, Mel. Keep wipes in your purse, nurse. Take care of your stock, Doc. You need PPE. And this isn't spring break, Jake. Stay home if you're sick, Dick. As COVID leaps, peeps, just follow the rules, fools. Stay virus free. I try to put that to music, one of these things, because I did that. Neil Diamond, Sweet Caroline. Check it out on YouTube, and I loaded it up on Facebook. I got my hot tea with lemon, as I always, even before this, way before. It's good, it's good, it's good. Hot stuff, remember. Hot tea, soups, hot water. So you need to keep your distance, walk to the parks, get out. I did my songs in my backyard for the taping. And some feel-good observations. My sister Bonnie's birthday was last Tuesday, March 31st. This is Tuesday the 7th. And brother-in-law Lee, he's a real prince, put together a successful Zoom conference call for 15 to 20 of our relatives and friends. It's a very nice experience. Recommend it highly for business and pleasure. So in a way, it's reaching out and touching somebody in the allowable, foreseeable future. And the second song, which I recorded for the broadcast, which will not be uploaded as we had been doing, that Sir James was able to do in the studio, is appropriately for this time and place. Makes a lot of sense. And I have something special planned for my big coming up very soon day. Actually, when I wrote this, I was going to record it yesterday. My big very soon day is today. So, shower the people you love with love, James Taylor. And as I said, most appropriate for this time and place. Makes a lot of sense. And begin keeping within the social distancing requirement. I hope to have a good time for my day and whatever. And you all, I know, are making the best of it. So, I had an article that came across in the newspaper. Hello, newspaper. And a very dear man who meant a lot to entertainment and stage and screen or whatever, Zev Buffman. He was the executive director of Ruth Eckerd Hall for so many years. Made quite a contribution to entertainment in Tampa Bay and Florida and the whole Southeast. And a special occurrence that my dad's last birthday here on Earth was February 20th, 2014. He made it through July 7th that year, but this birthday was very, very important because I had a chance to meet Zev Buffman at Ruth Eckerd Hall, and I told him about Dad's book and what it meant, and he knew about Dad being the chief finance officer for Ruth Eckerd Hall. So he accommodated me and my sister and brother-in-law Lee, and we met with him at Ruth Eckerd Hall that day on February 20th. And it was a beautiful, memorable event. And we talked about the building of the museum. That's my dad's other thing. I'll just share with you that. But of the Performing Arts Center. And then he invited us as his guest. We had a very nice lunch, had a wonderful luncheon there, and we took in a beautiful performance of the big band sound. That was so special for my dad and mom during their time, and we were entertained to the max. But I just want to share with you something. This is American Dreamer book, Look into Life of my father, Joe Baby, and we had special letters of acknowledgement, and Zev Buffman, President and CEO of Ruth Eckerd Hall, wrote this, and about what Dad meant, and working with the first director, Arnold Bremen. And he talked about the accolades of what he did and contributed to performing art here in Tampa Bay and the west coast of Florida and entire Southeast Florida University, Southeastern United States. But anyway, he wrote in closing, now some 35 years later, and now 39 years later, it is good to remember heroes like Joe, who was there from the very start. Zev Buffman. Hope Zev, you're up there putting together some great shows, worked with Elizabeth Taylor and some of the great performers of his time. And in the book, right before that, is a beautiful dedication that I was able to get from the executive director of the Hirshhorn Museum. As I said, my dad made a difference. And that's why I wrote this book. Okay, so moving right along, I got a lot of stuff. And I wanted to share with you a few things. Now, if John Casimiro was here, and I mentioned crypto quotes, he would have a cow. But he's not here, and if he's going to watch this, he'll probably have a cow. So anyway, and I just want to, I'm vindicated, because in this week's Tampa Bay Times, they did a favor, because they weren't going to, they stopped production every day. They do Wednesday and Sunday, I believe. So for all the wordsmiths, and like my dad was, and all the people doing crossword puzzles and word games, and I am a firm believer, it's one of the things that worked for me. As you know, the brain is a muscle, and it needs to be exercised regularly. It needs to be exercised regularly. And every day, 2 pages of John Bull, crossword puzzles, crypto quotes. So I'm in hog heaven here, because I don't want to overload my circuits. I got things, I have other things, even though we do have time to go forth and keep busy within the realm of our family and need to get done things. So anyway, I had a few quotes, and I want to share with you. This was Henry Van Dyke, and he said, "Be glad of life, because it gives you the chance to love to work," and I'm sure a lot of people wish they could do more, love to play, which we're doing too much, and to look up at the stars, which I love to do. And I have my telescope out, I'll probably be doing that. And Vince Lombardi, great sports figure, and we certainly miss our sports. But he said the quality of a person's life is in direct proportion to their commitment to excellence, regardless of their chosen field of endeavor. That's Vince Lombardi. And this was from Steve Jobs, great Apple contributor, developer, inventor, innovator. You can't just ask customers what they want and then try to give that to them. By the time you get it built, they'll want something new. And last, but well, maybe not least, I think I have one more. Yeah, that one's the last one. This is John Fuskin. What we think of what we know by what we believe in the end is of little consequence. The only consequence is what we do. And on that crypto quotes, I've been in addition to crypto quotes, I've been looking at the horoscope. Not that I really believe in it, but these things are just universal. And it says, emotions will lead to trouble. Think before you say something you might regret. Sometimes it's best to take a back seat and observe. Walk away from disputes, bullies, and situations that can lead to changes you don't want. That was March. I believe that. Oh, a good one from George Washington Carver. Education is the key to unlock the golden door of freedom. Wow. Powerful stuff, George Washington Carver. And the last thing really pertains to today's situation. It's actually my sister's birthday, March 31st. I'll read that astrology thing. But the important thing is this. Words to remember. One must never lose time in vainly regretting the past or in complaining against the changes which cause us discomfort. For change is the essence of life. Anatole France. Change is the essence of life. Now, I know if you're having a hard time, and many of you are, it's hard to digest. It's hard to swallow. We're going to get over this. We'll be stronger. And working together. More people are working together that they didn't even know are working together. The person just delivered my food. From Publix. Thank you, Derek. Saved my life. So the horoscope for my sister was, listen carefully. You'll find it easier to make the best decision. Learn from whatever you have experienced, and you'll know exactly how to navigate your way through the changes you encounter. Stay focused on what you want to achieve, and you'll get the results you want. A change will help you find new ways to use your skills and knowledge, even as numbers, lucky numbers, 8, 11, 20, 27, 30, 40. But that's universal. I couldn't get my horoscope today because the paper wasn't delivered. So I'll take this one. But it said for everybody on 331, don't expect things to go according to plan. Take a detour. It will get you where you want to go. Take pride in what you do, and don't worry about what others think. Okay, I can deal with that. All right, moving right along. I have so the second song you remember was Shower the People You Love with Love. Here's my Mr. Happy here, to be happy. And I have, this is cute. I finally got this to work. Right, it talks, when you talk, I had this so many years. I've reinvented all this stuff I found. I even have a lava lamp somewhere I reconnected. So, the third song, with today's day and age going, today's happening, the reasoning behind the third musical musings was during these uncertain times, we were reverting back to the basics, our strength, and of course of what got us here, our family, close knit friends, outside circles of support. We got a lot of love to go around, and we can see now we can use them more than ever. The third song is I've Got a Hammer. And the song was originally performed by Peter, Paul, and Mary. And so it has a lot of good things about it, and it really got me pumped up. And I hope you have a chance to listen to it. There was a version by Trini Lopez. He was a young performer up and coming out of Texas, and he carried a lot of pizzazz with him. But the song is, if I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out the love between my brothers and sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I'd ring it in the morning, I'd ring it in the evening, I'd ring it all over this land. I'd ring out danger, I'd ring out warning, I'd ring out the love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. And I had a song, and I sang it. It was in the afternoon, but I sing it a lot. And it rings out danger, and I have a hammer of justice, bell of freedom, song about the love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. And I closed. We need a lot of love. A lot of love all over this land. And there's a lot of stuff going on that that song sort of takes on extra meaning in today's world. My dad, on this issue of moral of the story, and also moral, M-O-R-A-L, he wrote about it, and it took place in 1968 in Washington, D.C. It's on page 145 of the American Dreamer book. American Dreamer, Look into the Life of My Father, Joe Baby. My dad left the Defense Contract Audit Agency, worked there 65, 66, and then 67 he got a promotion to the Small Business Administration, which helps a lot of small businesses, and it does a great job even today. It's very much needed, especially today when these trillions of dollars are going to be used to help small businesses resurrect, recreate themselves. Take a moment of silence and think about what we have and where we're going and what we need to do, everybody. Well, this story is about the transition period that after the 68 election, 1968, Richard Nixon was elected. My dad came into the office, and it was during a transition period, and the Small Business Administration was sort of a political plum. To the victor goes the spoils, they say, and the administrator for the Small Business Administration was assigned by Nixon, and one of the people there came in. My dad got in one morning and said there was a smiling cherubic face and a con brightly behind his desk with a cardboard box full of buttons, campaign, that is. This wasn't unusual, but it was the influx of appointees who were unaware of governmental rules and regulations affecting work rules and limitations covered by the Hatch Act, which says the civil servants are not involved politically. They are lifelong workers, civil servants. So, and to know that campaigning is prohibited in federal buildings, and that was the creed that he followed, my dad. There was a big hullabaloo around that desk. The clerk was admonished and told to remove the box from the desk. Immediately, he was advised of the harsh penalties with such actions. Dad made note of that. It was important for him. Well, we have a lot of stuff today, and a lot of things in transition. We had a senator a Republican senator, I might add, Richard Burr from North Carolina, said the intelligence community and today's Inspector General, ICIG, should be allowed to work free of any pressure after President Trump fired the top watchdog in what critics say was an act of political retaliation. There's another thing with the naval commander of the ship that alerted his colleagues and other Navy officials about the spread of the coronavirus on board. And so, as I said, like any political appointee, the Inspector General serves at the behest of the executive. However, in order to be effective, the IG must be allowed to conduct his or her work independently of internal or external pressure. And Senator Burr just happens to be chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee, and it's his hope that the nominee for the role of ICG will uphold the same important standards laid out by Congress when we created this role. The marks came a day after Trump informed Congress that he was firing Michael Atkinson, Intelligence Community Inspector General. He was also the one that raised the question of the whistleblower. Well, that's why I said that third song by Pete Seeger. I have a hammer of justice, bell of freedom. So these are things that make a difference, and I know you're all concerned. It's very serious. I wanted to take a couple of minutes getting into my power of the mind, and I have all kinds of things that I fully believe in, that mind, body, and spirit, and I'll share with you. But first, I have a few things that I'd like to go over that sort of, we got enough stuff that's driving everybody crazy, want to know what's going on. So these are things that are dumb and stupidest things. And this was from this calendar year, a few years back, but you don't have to go far. It happens all the time. So this is on math. Teachers overly fractious. I guess they were talking about fractions. But so this teacher, during the performance, half of you were sleeping, half of you were talking, and the other half of you were flat out being rude. It was a 7th grade math teacher to her class. And I know as a substitute for 11 years, I could do that math also. So you just, and I have a bunch. Oh, here's a cute one. Basketball player Drew Goodwin on discussing his NBA career. Multiculturalism, problems with, that's the heading. He said, I've had to overcome a lot of diversity. I've had to overcome a lot of diversity. Okay.